It hit me like ice water down the spine the moment Blake Harlan clicked to the third slide in that packed all-hands meeting. The room in our downtown Seattle office smelled of fresh espresso and nervous sweat, the kind of open loft space with concrete floors and string lights that tried too hard to feel innovative. Blake stood tall in his slim-fit navy blazer, laser pointer in hand, grinning like he'd just invented the internet. "This predictive analytics engine," he said, voice smooth as polished conference tables, "is our crown jewel, built entirely in-house by the architecture team. It spots user churn patterns weeks ahead and flags system risks before they crash us." The flowchart on the screen made my stomach drop. That exact branching logic. The anonymized token sequences. Even the color palette I had chosen from an old subway map printout because it felt alive. I sat frozen in the back row, my notebook untouched, heart hammering against my ribs. No one noticed my face. But inside, everything went cold and sharp. This was my tool. The one I'd built alone on weekends in my Capitol Hill apartment, with Luna the rescue tabby curled on the windowsill, sunlight filtering through rain-streaked glass while I coded line by line on my personal laptop. My name is Elena Voss. I'd spent 6 years at Nexlify Tech, the quiet engineer who kept the backend humming through scaling pains from 12,000 users to over 1 million. No glory, just reliable code that never failed during peak traffic. I loved the work, the puzzle of it, the satisfaction of watching logs stabilize after a tough deployment. But Blake changed everything when he arrived 3 months earlier from a flashy Bay Area startup. He swept in with energy drinks, buzzwords, and a smile that never quite reached his eyes. Tight jeans, expensive sneakers, always pacing during stand-ups like he was presenting to VCs. Day 1 he announced the pivot. Deep behavioral analytics, modern stack. No more patchwork solutions. Our old systems had scaled us without outages. But to Blake, anything pre-AI was legacy failure. By day 5, the big meeting arrived. He decreed all infrastructure decisions funneled through him. Then came the device policy review and code audits. A junior dev joked about privacy. Blake smiled thinly. "If you're not doing anything wrong, you've got nothing to hide." That line landed heavy. My palms went damp because I did have something to hide, not anything illegal, but something deeply personal. For 18 months, I'd nurtured a side project born from frustration with our ticket backlog. It started simple, an anonymized engine that predicted usage dips and crash risks using behavioral patterns. I built it entirely at home, never touching company hardware or code. Late nights with chamomile tea, Luna purring beside the keyboard, rain tapping the window while I tested models. It was elegant, powerful, mine. But Blake's new contracts changed the game. The email arrived midweek, updated agreements buried in legalese. Paragraph 47 claimed all inventions, side projects, even weekend work as company property during employment. No exceptions for personal time or independent tools. I read it 3 times at my kitchen table, throat dry, Luna watching me curiously. This wasn't just claiming code, it was erasing ownership from people like me who built because we couldn't stop building. I didn't sign. HR's reply was cheerful. "Your original contract stands unless you opt in for alignment." Translation: target on my back. Many signed without reading. Others shrugged. No side projects anyway. I stayed silent. But I started documenting everything. Slack, threads, access logs, backups timestamped and notarized. I sensed the storm coming. Blake rolled out standard refresh with jokes in all hands. "Not your firstborn. Just your side hustles." Laughter filled the room. I didn't join in. Page 13 spelled it out, no carve-outs. Total claim on anything written during tenure. I pinged the legal Slack softly. No real reply. Just a polite HR email painting me as the dissenter. By week's end, 24 engineers had signed. One joked about his Sudoku app. They didn't see what I saw. Blake wanted valuable assets. My engine had teeth, real predictive power. Then the memo hit Monday morning. New predictive engine, internal innovation at its finest. Screenshots, graphs, jargon. It was my system, feature for feature. My blood ran cold. Someone had cloned my accidentally public test repo during its brief window. They'd scrubbed history just enough to rebrand it. I didn't rage. I breathed, pulled receipts, downloaded old commits. IP logs showing clone from office IPs at 3:41 a.m. during a known all-nighter Slack post. Emails with a freelance consultant I'd paid personally. Whiteboard photos. Exact formulas now on Blake's slides. I contacted my copyright attorney, quiet and sharp from my freelance days. Is it original? No company assets. Yes. He grinned through the phone. Let's get to work. That night after the alpha unveil, I drove home through Seattle drizzle, wipers slapping rhythmically. Mind racing but steady. Blake had paced the stage claiming visionary status, dodging technical questions with buzzwords. But in the demo corner, blurred yet visible, my old get handle from the test fork. The tagline, "We see patterns before they break you," pulled verbatim from my README, written at 2 a.m. during Frasier reruns. It felt like watching a stranger wear my skin. I kissed Luna on the forehead like a talisman and fired up my old grad school desktop. Every commit, timestamp, draft, pulled and hashed with SHA 256. Offsite backups duplicated to cold storage. I called my attorney Eric again. He demoed it. I sent screenshots, logs, 10-page timeline. Questions came precise. Personal equipment? Yes. After hours? Yes. Pre-clause? Yes. Register the copyright under your LLC now, he advised. My Voss Analytics LLC, kept alive from consulting gigs, became the firewall. Filing took an hour. Full technical docs, metadata, architectural maps. Receipt downloaded in triplicate, USB, secure cloud, air-gap drive. Then I drafted the license, non-exclusive commercial use with strict attribution. No misrepresentation as native. Breach voids it instantly. Backdated pre-demo with notarized timestamps and blockchain seal. Eric reviewed. Added no sublicense clauses. Chambered. Ready. Not sent yet. I went to work quietly. Surgically. Repo forensics. My unique naming. Debug script nicknamed Gremlin Hunter v2 with untouched comment. Don't touch this or you'll summon Cthulhu. IP logs traced the clone to a temp account during that all-night. Freelance emails. Notion space. Invoices from personal account, all pristine. The formula on slide 5 matched exactly. Meanwhile, whispers grew. Big exit rumors. $145 million acquisition floated. Blake's engine, my engine, was the crown jewel. He strutted, calling it something I cooked up during lockdown, slinging my architecture like protein shakes. Town halls praised his technical differentiation. I smiled, clapped, needed them committed. I refined the license, filed updated copies in dual vaults. The buyer's junior associate emailed privately, mismatch in copyright metadata. License for my LLC. Attribution questions. I replied cleanly. Registered author. Licensed externally. Clause 6.4 requires attribution. She appreciated clarity. Off-record complimented the structure. Blake exploded in Slack. Selfie from executive floor. 2 days from board seat. I exported the thread. He DM'd me for a light write-up for buyers. I replied helpfully, prepping my trap. The room for the final pitch smelled of burnt espresso and toner. Overdressed executives twitching. Blake paced in his ill-tailored blazer. CEO cracking knuckles. Buyer's team, 5 suits. Paralegal. The associate. Entered politely. Water bottles. Decks. Binders. Blake launched. Game changer. Proprietary. Vision. The counsel let him talk 7 minutes. Then slid the single page across. Highlighted clause 6.4. Misrepresentation voids license. CEO's smile died. What is this? Blake stammered about templates. Counsel cut in. Developed by or for your firm? Silence thickened. CEO demanded answers. Blake babbled derivative frameworks. Folder of logs. Commits. Screenshots slid over. You cloned it, she said finally. By noon the deal iced. Paused. But everyone knew uncertainty killed momentum. $145 million hated identity crises. Buyer's request. Full IP audit. Origin trails. Authorship immediate. Clock ticked ruthlessly. Blake's badge failed that afternoon. HR met him with envelope on the dev floor. Light blinked red on the glass pod. His face, disbelief mixed with defeat, had engineers filming discreetly. Slack account purged by evening. Posts flattened to ghosts. One junior's visionary mention now read, message not found. Investigation confirmed. Public window clone. Stripped metadata. Lingering cat emoji comment in code. If you change this function, I will personally haunt your dreams. Buyers found it darkly funny. Legal did not. Blake signed exit. Mutual separation. No severance. No noise. Or breach consequences. That night, Buyer's CTO emailed personally. Retain me as compliance and transition consultant reporting to legal/engineering leads. A compensation matching scope and ownership. No apology. Just leverage language I respected. I accepted, not for money or spotlight, but to ensure truth stuck. 3 weeks later, deal closed at $131 million. Adjusted post-audit. Appendix clause. All derived systems acknowledge license source under Voss Analytics LLC with perpetual attribution. Audit rights. Compensation. 10 lines etched my name into their roadmap forever. The first royalty wired Friday. I transferred it straight to mortgage principal, 30 years erased in one click. No screenshot. No post. Just quiet exhale. At closing dinner, Buyer's CEO raised glass to knowing where tech really comes from. Nods. No laughter. Outside afterward. Cool air. Low moon. Empty parking lot. I sat in my car. Pulled up the private repo one last time. Hovering. Then delete. No backup. No ceremony. Value no longer in code, but in boundary proved unstealable.